What's up, guys? Welcome back or to the channel. And today we're going to be going over all the mods and all the different things that I've done to the Gladiator so far and how they've held up, how I like them, and just a general review of all the mods that I've done. Recently, if you guys didn't catch it, I just did a video on the 3-year review of the actual Gladiator itself and how it's been holding up and how it's been performing. And long story short, it's been doing great. But if you guys want to check out that video, then definitely check out that video. There is some interesting stuff in there. But today, let's start going over the Jeep. We're gonna go over it from the front to the back, and I'll give you guys a review of every single thing that I've done underneath, on the outside, on the inside. We'll do the interior last, and just basically kind of, let you guys know which stuff was good and which stuff wasn't. So let's get into it. So first things first, I do have the Warren winch plate and all of the hardware and everything to install the winch. And I don't have the winch yet, but we will be doing that. That's pretty much the only thing that I have still on my list that I want to do in the immediate future. And I will be putting it in the actual stock bumper here. If you guys know the Mopar bumper, this plate right here unbolts and you can drop her in, and then your fair lead comes out right here, and then you just got to relocate your license plate. But starting from the very front, the first thing that you guys would probably notice is the snorkel. And the snorkel is by Rugged Ridge, and it's been working out really great so far. There is one complaint that I do have about the snorkel, and let me just unlock the Jeep because I do have a hood alarm, and I'll show you guys my little complaint. But it is something that you can live with, definitely. But my one complaint is right here. So a lot of people will mention that when they're installing these, the tube itself actually crushes and it like indents. So this side I managed to install properly and nothing happened. This side, it started getting soft right here. And I'm sure I could probably move this to show you guys, but yeah, it's nasty in there. Either way, that part got a little bit pushed in, and it was actually sucking in air from right here. Now this isn't perfect, but it is tight enough on there that it seals it from any water going in. This is like a vinyl tape. Now it's not pretty, but it's functional, so it is what it is. Just trying to keep it real with you guys and show you that not everything is perfect. So it does work great. I haven't had any issues. And when you do put the kit in, you do have a drain at the bottom of your stock airbox. So you do have a valve. I don't know if I can get to it right now, but and there's that hood alarm. I don't know why it went off, but there it is. So there is a drain right in there. I don't know if I can get to it right now, but basically whenever I go off-road, I just tighten it up and close it, and whenever I'm not going off-road, I leave it open. And that little drain allows you to basically drive through the rain and drive in the winter when it's snowing or any kind of bad weather and not have water build up in the box. It'll just drain itself out. Now when you go off-road, you want to close that up, because if you do any kind of water crossings above the fender line where the bottom of that airbox sits, that's when you're going to have issues, and that's when it's going to start taking in water. So that's why you close up that valve. But that's pretty much the only thing that I have to mention about that. And let me close the hood quick and I'll keep going for you guys. So the next thing we can talk about is the suspension. And I do have the Fox Performance Elite 2.5s with the reservoirs, and these are fully adjustable with the knobs over here. You've got the low speed and the high speed, both right there accessible for you. And that is on all 4 corners. So on the back, you also have the knobs and you also have the reservoirs. However, you don't have that hose. So it's all built in right here, and your knobs are just on the top right there. You can kind of see the orange peeking through, but it's quite easy to actually just stick your hand in on this side and just adjust them like that. So for me, I don't really mind. I like where the position is. Even though it's just behind here, it actually keeps it a little bit cleaner for actually adjusting it, and you don't get too much crap built up on there. So good stuff. But I have those paired with the Clayton Off-Road 3.5-inch Overland kit, Overland Plus, and that includes front and rear sway bar links, front and rear tie rods, sorry, not tie rods, track bars, front and rear, upper and lower control arms, so you get all 8 arms. And what else? I think that's it. Oh, and you get rear extensions, rear brake line extensions. So I will jump under there in a second and show you guys that. But right now you guys can also see the steering stabilizer, which is the Fox ATS stabilizer, which is the through shaft. And I also paired that with the TMR 2.5 ton custom steering, and that rides great. Honestly, the best way to describe it compared to stock is it's not any stiffer. It rides almost the same. Like you don't get any more of a stiff ride. You don't get any more feedback from the steering wheel than you would normally. But what you do get is a lot tougher of a kit. Like you can see, this stuff is probably twice as thick as the stock stuff, and it is definitely ready for action. So I definitely like what steering components I got. This stuff works great. I haven't had any issues. None of the paint marks have come, like, you haven't seen anything come loose. None of the paint marks are off. Everything is where it was from when we installed it, and everything works great so far. So I definitely recommend the steering. I definitely recommend the steering stabilizer. The shocks, I can't say enough good stuff about them either. They have been working great. They've been awesome off-road. I set them nice and stiff when I'm on the highway, and they perform great. You don't have any kind of body roll or any issues with the vehicle tracking weird or following dips in the road. But when you set it soft, then you're nice and bouncy and cushy for when you go off-road, and you can actually go and have a good time and not beat your teeth out and just rattle yourself to death. So I definitely enjoy these a lot better than what I had on here from stock, even though those were also Fox. These are a day and night difference. Like, they are so much better. Now, taking a look underneath, you can see those upper and lower arms, as well as the custom drive shaft. And this is a Tom Woods custom drive shaft. This was measured and custom made for this specific Jeep, and no issues there either. No vibrations, no noises. 4-wheel drive has been working flawlessly, and yeah, I haven't had a single problem with this setup so far. So definitely recommend the Tom Woods. And rear drive shaft is still stock. No issues with any driveline vibrations or anything like that. As you can see, the angle isn't even that crazy. I'll try to show you guys from the side here, but yeah, it's not even that crazy. So she's been riding great. No vibrations on the highway or anywhere. And you can also see those shocks a little bit better from here, as well as those upper and lower arms. And the Clayton rear track bar has a nice bend in it there. You can see that allows you to that allows you to carry a 37-inch spare with room to spare. As you can see there, I have the 37 in the stock position, and there is plenty of room in there. You don't have any issues whatsoever, and you can see the clearance in this spot right here is perfect. Like, you couldn't ask for anything better. So I'm very happy with the setup underneath. Oh, and you can see that steering. Yeah, everything's been working great. I haven't had any issues from front to back. Knock on Jeep, but she's been working great. And another thing that I forgot to mention in my other video was these. So these aren't stock, but I actually did get these from a gentleman that bought them from Mopar. So these are the Mopar Performance, I guess they're called the Performance rock rails or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the name is because I didn't buy them from Mopar, but they are Mopar. I did buy them from somebody who bought them directly from Mopar, and they are, I think they're called the premium rock rails or something like that, or upgraded rock rails. But I like them because they have a little bit of a step. You can see there's just enough there that you could put your foot down and hop in. Nothing crazy, but it also gives you just that little bit more when you're off-road, so that it pushes it just that little bit away from the body. Because I know that the stock rock rails, they almost tuck right in there, and yeah, there's not as much protection as these ones for sure. So I definitely like these, and they bolt up exactly the same way. They're not much heavier than the stock ones, probably maybe 20 pounds difference, I'd say, when I was doing the swap. So definitely happy with those. Definitely I would recommend those as well. For wheels and tires, we are running the Black Rhino, and I don't remember the exact name. I think these are called the Arsenals. I have to double check, but I believe these are the Black Rhino Arsenal, and they are wrapped in a Mickey Thompson Baja Boss all-terrain, and these are 3-peak snow rated, and these are also a 37 by 12.5 by 17. So I kept the stock 17 size, but we went a little bit wider, and I believe the back spacing on these is about 4.5, if I'm not mistaken. So you can see there is a little bit of poke, nothing crazy, but just that little bit, enough that it gets the whole side of the Jeep disgusting whenever you're off-roading. But I like the look, it looks good. And I didn't want to get the fender extensions that they put on the Recon, just because personally I like the look, so I never went with that. And these tires have been working great. They're not loud, they are very quiet actually. I've been driving with them for quite a while, and no issues with the tires. They hold pressure well, they're great in the snow, they're great in the wet. And I actually have a nail in this one. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I've had that nail in there for like 2 weeks, and I've been too lazy to do it, but I do have the patch kit, so I will do it. But it hasn't even been dropping pressure, just because they're so thick and so beefy that you don't have any issues. So highly recommend those. I think 3 or 4 different people in our crew run these tires, and nobody has said a bad thing about them. They work great on the rocks, they work great in the mud, and yeah, so far so good. They are a heavy tire. I think these ones at this size weigh close to 80 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. So they're not light. They're not light tires, but they work great. So no complaints on my side from the tires or from the rims. And I do like the full face rim, because you don't get too much dirt and stuff inside, and then whenever you do go off-road, you just wash them out from the inside, so not too bad. And yeah, I do like the look. They're not real beadlocks, these are not beadlocks, but they look good, so and I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Olight and their new Arcfeld Ultra, and thank you guys for sponsoring this video. The new light that they have is awesome. I've been using it all around the shop, and definitely I've been using it in this video actually to show you guys underneath the Jeep. This thing has 1400 lumens at 5 different power levels. You also have a green laser, and you also have a 900 milliwatt UV light. So it's very useful. It has an aluminum housing, and this thing has an awesome clip where it's not going anywhere. So if you guys need a flashlight, definitely check out Olight. Link is in the description. But for now, let's continue on with the Jeep. And back here, you can get a little bit better look at those brake line extensions. So you can see there's quite a bit of extension there, so that when you do droop the back axle, you're not going to be pulling on anything or putting any stress on any lines. But I think that's about it for the outside. And for underneath, from the inside, I haven't really done much. You can see she's pretty much stock inside. The only thing that I have really done is the steering wheel. And the steering wheel, I love. This is probably one of the first mods that I did, and it's probably one of the most enjoyable mods, because this is something you interact with the most, and this is the thing that you have your hands on the entire time you're using the Jeep. So personally, I really like this. I have the matte carbon with leather, and it is still heated. It did retain the heat, so we still have the full heat all the way around. And yeah, I did not buy this from a brand though. What I did is I went on Alibaba and I found the supplier to pretty much everybody that makes or sells these wheels in North America. They pretty much buy them from one place in China. I found that one place in China. I bought the wheels, and well, here's my wheel. The reason I did that is because I tried to work with some of the guys here in North America, and they were being kind of stingy. So I said, I don't need you. And well, I like my wheel, and it works great. And it actually, a lot of the guys here in North America that sell them, they don't have heat all the way around. They only have heat on the leather parts. This one is heated all the way around, so nice. But other than that, I don't really have too many mods on the inside. I do have one of those Android boxes that you can put on and watch like Netflix or YouTube or whatever on the screen there. But that one that I have isn't the greatest. It's pretty slow. It does what it does, and it kind of works. But at the end of the day, I do recommend those. I would just recommend getting yourself one of the newer ones, because mine is old, it's slow, it doesn't work that great, it's not as enjoyable to use. But if you can get your hands on a new one that has an updated system, that has better software in it, that actually runs and it doesn't lag and it doesn't freeze, then great. I highly recommend those. If you're on the trails, or even if you're camping, or even if you're just sitting in the vehicle somewhere and you just want to watch some Netflix, it does work while you're driving, which I don't recommend. But if you're just chilling somewhere and you want to watch some Netflix or some YouTube or something, then definitely get yourself one of those. They're not big. I can show you guys the one that I have. It plugs in into the USB right in here, and it's this. It's like a little AI box, smart AI box it's called. But there's many brands that make them. This one, it's okay, but I'm sure there's a million better ones that you can guys pick up on either Amazon or wherever, and get yourself one of those going. And yes, I have one duck. The one duck. I'm not one of those full windshield full of ducks guys, but somebody gave me a duck, so there's the one duck. But I think that's it for the mods. Other than that, everything else is stock. Everything else has been kept pretty much factory, and she's been running great. I haven't had any issues. If there's anything else you guys want to know, then definitely drop me a line in the comments and ask me. But I think that covers all of the mods and pretty much everything that I've done to the Jeep so far. Now, if you guys have been following the channel for a while, then you know that I haven't been around as much lately, and I haven't been posting as much lately. Hopefully that's going to change soon, but after getting the house, I actually got myself and started a new business, and I wanted to put some effort into that and put my time into that. And well, here we are. And if you guys are interested in purchasing a new vehicle and you're located in Canada, then definitely check out my website, carsharks.ca, where I help people like you or anybody purchase a vehicle. And basically how it works is you tell me what vehicle you're looking for, year, make, model, specifics. You can get down right to the packages. You can go and pick colors. Anything that you would want in your vehicle, you let me know. I'm gonna find the specific vehicle so you don't have to make any kind of, compromises. You're not gonna have to worry about, oh, they don't have this package. You show up at the dealership and they try to sell you something that you don't want just because that's what they have in stock. There's none of that. I find the car that you want, and then I deal with the dealer. I get you the best price. I negotiate to get you between 5 to 10% off of MSRP. Then I let you know where to go, what dealer to deal with, and you go and purchase your vehicle. You still get full warranties. You're still purchasing from a reputable dealer, and now you just don't have to deal with the hassle of dealer fees, dealership tactics, them trying to sell you a car you don't want, and things like that. So if that sounds good to you, check out my website. The link is in the description, carsharks.ca. And hopefully I can help you guys purchase your next vehicle. But I think that's going to cover it for today's video. I don't really have any other mods or any other things to cover on the Jeep. And yeah, hopefully I'll be seeing you guys in the next video soon. I do have another interesting video coming up that is going to be on a topic. Well, basically it's about the squishy pedal. So if you guys know about the JL and the JT, it has a squishy brake pedal, especially after you lift it. And I found the solution. I fixed mine, and I'll let you guys know what I did so that hopefully you can fix yours. So if you guys want to know about that, then definitely stay tuned for the next video. If you guys are new around here, then jump down there, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, give this video a share, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. But until then guys, ride safe out there. Peace.